Afternoon, emotions spilled over this Wednesday in a New Jersey courtroom as a man accused of raping and murdering a 7-year-old girl came face to face with her grieving relatives.
What happened was that an uncle of the victim could not control himself and lunged at the suspect, Conrad Jeffrey, who was charged in this terrible case. Now, while that drama played out inside, angry residents fed up with the criminal justice system protested outside. Channel 2's Reggie Harris is live for us in Patterson now with more on this disturbing event. Reggie?
Well, Carol, it's been quite a raucous scene out here in the streets in front of the Passaic County Courthouse. It has calmed down significantly in just the past few minutes now. The crowd here has been growing all morning. They are primarily from Passaic, from the neighborhood where 1 week ago, 7-year-old Davina Janelle was abducted and later found bound and gagged, suffocated in the room of 42-year-old Conrad Jeffrey. Today, as Jeffrey's arraignment was ending, the suspect was attacked in the courtroom by one of the slain girl's teenage brothers. You'll see as he moves, he comes across the top, the brother there. That set off court officers and people in the court. There seemed to have been some misunderstanding about what had happened at the arraignment. As people came out, they told us that he had been given bail and that he was released. Some reporters were in the courtroom, others were down here in the streets. That's where I was. Now, that is a misunderstanding. He was not given bail. His case is being referred to a grand jury, and that is routine in a potential murder case. Conrad Jeffrey was just paroled 6 weeks ago, and 6 weeks before this alleged killing of Davina Janelle. Now that has created some political fallout. One state senator from Bergen County, Louis Costco, has called for a 90-day moratorium on paroling inmates. He is chairman of the Law Committee in the Senate. And the governor says he'll call for laws banning plea bargains for sexual assault defendants because in the past, this defendant, Conrad Jeffrey, had a long history of sexual assault. It was learned today, reported today, that he, in 1974, confessed to the murder of a woman in Newark, but that was later dismissed. Then in 1990, there was a case in Hackensack where he attempted to abduct a 14-year-old girl, and that also was never reported to these authorities when it was time for him to come up for parole. So we are sorting it out here. We will have more for you on Channel 2 News later today. I'm Reggie Harris in Patterson. Now back to Dana and Carol.
All right, Reggie, thanks. Carol here. Bronx teenager is under arrest today, accused of killing his neighbor, a Marine. Police arrested 19-year-old Amari Bonilla last night, charging him with second-degree murder in the fatal shooting of Marine Staff Sergeant Richard Rodriguez. Now, the sergeant was on leave for Mother's Day when he was shot 4 times in the neck as he sat on a park bench. It was the same park where his brother was shot and killed 2 years ago. Now, in that case, the killer was never caught, and now police are investigating whether the 2 murders could be linked. Lisa?
Police are also on the lookout this noon for a pregnant homeless woman whose 2 children were abandoned at the Port Authority bus terminal. That's where Channel 2's John Slattery joins us now live with the story. John.
Lisa, at this point, the mother of the 2 children has not been located. The 2 babies are said to be okay. As police try to sort out at this news time who they are and who she is. At women's shelters in the 8th Avenue Times Square area, the search is on for a mother who last night left her 2 children with a homeless woman. Port Authority police say it was around 11 last night when 2 little boys, ages approximately 2 and 1, were left with a homeless woman in the terminal.
She said that she had been asked about 4 or 5 hours earlier to watch these children while the mother of the children came into the bus terminal to either go to the bathroom or go somewhere.
The mother never came back?
The mother never came back.
Police say it's not that unusual for one homeless woman in the Port Authority to ask another homeless woman to watch her kids. The woman who accepted the children, did she know the woman who was giving her the kids?
No.
Had she ever seen her before?
Yes, she had seen her around before, but she didn't know her personally, didn't know her name or any other information.
Police describe the mother as a female black, 25 years old, 5'7", visibly pregnant, wearing a red and white striped, short-sleeved, hooded shirt, white shorts, white sneakers, 2 braids in her hair. Police say the 2 little boys had rashes and scrapes, were dirty, but are okay.
The children have been taken to the hospital have been checked out medically, have been cleaned, have been given new clothes, and are now with the Child Welfare Association.
Interestingly, Port Authority cops say that it's not that unusual for babies to be abandoned here. In fact, they say it happens so often that they have a crib set up, they have formula on hand, they even have a baby seat for taking children to the welfare offices. We'll have more on the Channel 2 News at 5. Lisa, Carol.
All right, John, thank you. President Bill Clinton makes his first official trip to New York City since he took office for 2 events beginning later this afternoon. Channel 2's Marcia Kramer joins us now with more on that story. Marcia?
Well, Carol, just call it back to the people. President Clinton hits the Big Apple today at the end of a 3-day road tour designed to sell his economic package and renew his touchy-feely, hands-on relationship with the American people. But before he left Washington for a speech at Cooper Union in Lower Manhattan, there was the warm-up. A radio interview with Don Imus, where the I-Man asked the president if Bosnia was his Vietnam.
I've made it very clear that the United States, unlike Vietnam, is not about to act alone and should not act alone. This is a European issue. It's an issue for the world community to address. And we have worked very carefully with our allies to make the sanctions tougher and to keep the pressure on.
Then Imus, whose interview with the president was also broadcast live by the Today Show, asked what some Americans think is the $64,000 question.
The numbers we hear is that for every $3 and so in new taxes, we're looking at about $1 or so in spending cuts, and there are some people that think the ratio is even higher than that. Is that accurate?
No. But I'll tell you, if you look at this thing over a 5-year period, we have more spending cuts than we do tax increases.
And seeing as the Imus show is on all sports WFAN radio, there was the requisite sports question. It was one of those softball questions. Imus asked the president if he wanted to go to a Knicks game tonight. But Clinton, well, he ended up in the wrong set of bleachers.
So I can't go to the ball game, although I'd like to. I'm a big baseball fan, as you know.
Well, of course, this would be basketball, Mr. President.
Oh, did you say Knicks? I thought you said Mets.
No, nobody wants to see the Mets.
No. Are you kidding?
Well, Knicks, Mets, the real reason Clinton can't go tonight is that he's already booked at a star-studded Lincoln Center fundraiser where the crush of stars is such that he's slated to have appetizers with one, main course with another, and so on. But for most drivers, the main course could be gridlock as the president travels about the city.
Yeah, they're calling it Bubba Lock. Thanks, Marcia. New York City has a new Board of Education president, despite Mayor Dinkins' objections. New president Carol Gresser, who is characterized by liberal board members as a conservative, won on a 4-0 vote. 2 Dinkins appointees abstained. Luis Reyes and the member who started his appointment today, Dennis Walcott of the Urban League. This is the first time a board president was elected without the backing of the mayor. Mr. Dinkins had been pushing for a delay until he could fill the last vacancy on the board.
Well, City College of New York is expected to appeal a court decision that says the university discriminated against Professor Leonard Jeffries. Jeffries was ousted as chairman of the Black Studies Department after he gave a speech 2 years ago that was criticized as racist and anti-Semitic. A federal grand jury in Manhattan ruled yesterday that the professor's right to free speech had been violated. Jeffries says he is pleased with the verdict.
It's always been a question of academic freedom, freedom of the press, First Amendment rights, freedom of speech. It's always been a question of due process in the 14th Amendment. And all we wanted was our day in court.
Well, the jury must now consider damages. Jeffries sued City College for $25 million. A judge will decide later if Jeffries gets his chairmanship back.
We still have a lot more news to come on this Wednesday, May 12th. Up next, deadbeat moms and dads may soon see their faces on the wall. We'll explain.
And also ahead, we'll be hearing exclusively from the man who says that his priest molested him, and the teenager who was hit with a javelin and lived to tell about it. We'll show you more.
You can take a little sunshine when it shines so bright, then add it to the moonlight till it feels just right. Can't you see it's the place for you and me, baby? Now we got somewhere to run, darling, when there's no place to hide, no place to hide. We've got somewhere to run, darling, now we'll taste of love's sweet love.
Get free tickets for John Panette and Louis Anderson when you stay at Cove Haven May 15th and 16th. Call now.
First, we made the Donuts Mini.
Mini donuts.
Then we made the Eclairs Mini.
Mini eclairs.
And to make that an even bigger deal, we made the Money Mini.
Mini money.
Which means you can get a lot of Dunkin' Donuts minis for very little money. Any 5 minis for the minimum of just 99 cents. This is one offer that's too small to miss.
The chance.
So come to Dunkin' Donuts, where everything seems to be mini. So many minis, so little money.
Gordon said, I do.
I was looking for a home, looking for a family.
He said, I do again and again.
In all, Gordon has had 17 wives.
Isn't that illegal?
I left him. Gordon is looking for a perfect family that's already there for him.
But is he looking for it in your backyard? The marrying man and his bigamy brides make a date with Geraldo.
Today at 4 on Channel 2.
Hello.
Say hello to the world and save over 40%. Every weekend in June, AT&T Reach Out World customers will save off their already discounted calls. And not just to 1 or 2 international numbers, but to everyone you want to call. So who are you going to say hello to for 40% less? International savings for the way you call. Just another part of the I plan.
Hello, mate.
I is for individual.
I love paying half price.
It's half price time at ShopRite. ShopRite's half price sale saves me so much money.
Half price?
Half price.
Half price. I like that.
This week at ShopRite, Red Delicious Apples half price, 49 cents a pound. Dolly Madison Ice Cream half price, $1.69 a half gallon. And Gatorade drinks half price, 64 cents a quart.
We save you money.
We're open for everyday shopping as usual.
ShopRite does it right.
One of the victims, allegedly lured into a secret sex club by an upstate New York priest, is speaking out for the first time exclusively to Channel 2 News. This young man, we're calling David to protect his identity, says he was initiated into the group in 1988 when he was 13 years old. He says his parish priest in Monroe, Father Edward Papala, ran the club. David says at first Father Papala was a friend and confidant, but later he became a sexual predator.
He would take me down to Jersey Shore, Seaside Heights, to a condominium he had. He gave me some alcohol to drink. We would drink, watch a movie, and then he'd put on a pornographic film. And he would generally masturbate me. A few instances he performed oral sex on me.
David is suing the Archdiocese for $8 million. Father Papala has been accused of sex abuse in 2 other parishes besides Monroe, Goshen and Croton Falls. He's now undergoing treatment at a Maryland facility.
There is a new reason for moms and dads who are behind on child support payments to put their checks in the mail today. New Jersey officials have announced plans now to put the faces of the worst deadbeat parents on posters all across the state. The top 10 offenders list is currently being compiled. Those posters will be out this summer. Now, if you live in New Jersey and need information on child support, you can call the number on your screen. It's 1-800-621-KIDS.
A high school student is a walking miracle, and he's headed home from the hospital. He headed home about an hour ago, actually. Jeremy Campbell was hit in the neck by an 8-foot javelin during a track meet in Metuchen 2 days ago. Campbell says someone yelled duck, and the next thing he knew, he was hit. Doctors, though, say Jeremy is doing just fine. The only permanent result from the accident will be a scar. 2 important stories are coming up next. First, Frank Field with a vision checklist for your children.
And then coming up, a safety checklist that may inspire you to take a closer look at your playground. We have some phone numbers for you, too, so you should have pencils and papers ready.
There are cat people, and there are dog people. Hey, dog people, better lay low this weekend. Purina Big Cats Weekend at the Bronx Zoo Wildlife Park, where imaginations run wild.
What these men are about to do is a matter of national security. Tonight, Channel 2 News goes undercover to expose an immigration nightmare.
Counterfeit social security cards, phony green cards.
It's a backstreet scam that could be letting dangerous foreigners into our system.
It's a horrendous situation.
And putting potential terrorists onto our streets. Find out how easy it is to get a passport to danger.
We've had to put these people out of business.
A special report tonight at 11 on Channel 2 News.
People all over the metropolitan area are discovering that they have a great store just next door, A&P.
We shop at A&P almost every day. It's convenient, it's close to our house.
They remodeled it and it looks great. We use the A&P 8 o'clock coffee, which is wonderful.
Everything's easy to find, everything's well displayed, well marked. You can find whatever you're looking for.
Great service, everything's wonderful.
Great store.
The great store, just next door. A&P.
Find out how to keep your best friends as healthy as they can be. It's all for the love of pets. A special report tonight at 11 on Channel 2 News.
People living with pain keep thanking me.
Thanks, Joe.
For Flexall 454, the aloe vera-based pain-relieving gel recommended by the athletic trainers in all major pro sports.
Thanks, Joe.
Living with pain? Get better. Get Flexall, the pain relief pro trainers recommend.
I hate pain, cramps, backache, headache, but these have only one pain reliever. So I take new Maximum Pain Relief Pamprin. See? 2 pain relievers. One for my cramps, one for my other pains. If you hate pain, take Maximum Pain Relief Pamprin. It hates pain as much as you do.
In our Noon Health Watch for this Wednesday, Dr. Frank Field continues his special look at Vision Week and how to tell if your child needs to go to the eye doctor. Tough sometimes when they're really young and they can't talk.
That's right, but there are some clues. Now, children may suffer with various eye problems, such as amblyopia, which is lazy eye, strabismus, in which the eye may turn, farsightedness, nearsightedness, but they seldom complain, so it's up to the parent to look for signs of trouble. Now, does the child rub the eyes excessively? Does your child shut or cover one eye when trying to look? Does your child tilt the head or thrust it forward? Does the child frown? Does the child squint? If the child does any of these, you may want to see an eye professional.
Childhood is when most eye disorders occur, but children are often unaware or do not complain about eye problems they might have. If these problems are caught early enough, they can often be corrected, and that's why it's important that parents get their children in for early eye examinations. Up to 3 months of age, a baby's sharpness of vision is developing, and they usually prefer looking at close objects and are attracted by colors and faces. Children are born with farsightedness. By 6 months, the eye has reached 2/3 of its adult size, and as they grow older, eye coordination and vision comes into focus. It's important to make sure that both eyes function together. Pediatricians and pediatric ophthalmologists may have many different tests to evaluate children's vision. Statistics indicate that 1 out of every 4 children has some sort of eye disorder, something like amblyopia, which is often referred to as lazy eye. It's important that these children are seen early, and that's why early eye examinations are so important.
And all this week, you can stop in at any McDonald's, pick up a free eye chart. You can test your own youngster by following the instructions on the chart. And in addition, there are vision screening offices listed where you can go to get your eyes checked for free, or you can call the National Society to Prevent Blindness. That number, 212, an easy number to remember, 980-2820. 980-2020, get information on the closest vision screening center to your home.
And that's going on through Friday.
All this week.
Okay, Frank, thanks.
Time to see now what's going on with playground safety. That's the focus of our Parents Magazine segment this Wednesday. Playground injuries will send 250,000 kids to emergency rooms this year. Even so, there are still no federal safety standards for playgrounds. So here today with a hit list of what to look out for is Parents Magazine's editor-in-chief, Ann Plachette Murphy. Annie?
I hate to tell you, it's a long list, so
Is
I'm
it
going to
really?
go through
Yeah.
it quickly. But you should really be very vigilant about checking your playground. You want to make sure, first of all, that there is fencing. If there is no fencing, beware. Your child can run into an unsupervised area and get hurt. A haphazard layout is another thing to look for. The layout of the playground determines how the playground will be used, so you want to make sure there are distinct areas for different age groups. Poor surfaces, of course, is another big risk factor. Concrete and grass, hard-packed dirt, these are very dangerous surfaces. Much better if there are wood chips or sand or something that's more forgiving. You want to be sure that signs of neglect and decay do not exist at your playground. If you see rust, corrosion, or chipped paint, and if the sand that your child plays in looks dirty, make sure you take your child out of the playground. Inappropriate and unprotected equipment, what I mean by that is really the height of the equipment is very important. If it is very high, or even if it's just 20 inches off the ground, it should have a handrail or a guardrail. And if in fact it's more than 6 feet high, a child who is a small child should not be on that piece of equipment. There are lots of things you can do. The National Safe Kids campaign is running a series of playground inspections nationwide. If you want to call to see if your community is on their list, you can do so at 202-939-4993. They can also help you. I found out before I came today, if you are not on the list, they can tell you how to get on a list to get your playground inspected.
Annie, you mentioned something about grass not being a good surface.
It's not
Why?
a good. It's often there's hard dirt under it, and
Okay.
you think of grass as soft, but it's not.
necessarily,
Things
right.
that can basically give, like sand with a depth of 8 to 12
Well, they have
inches
these
is
new
the
rubber
best.
surfaces,
The
too,
rubber
that are
surfaces are
good.
the best.
Yeah.
Those mats and the tiles and things like that. But there's lots more.
In
Don't
Parents
forget,
Magazine, let's show
June,
them.
because in
Isn't
fact,
she
really, I
telling
could
me?
only cover a certain
know.
amount. That's right.
Okay, thanks,
Part of my
Annie.
job.
I got it.
Well, if you've been outside, you know it is another hot one out there today.
But the question is, will today top yesterday's record-breaking performance? Mr. Frank's back with the forecast in a minute.
Quality time for us is reading wonderful stories together.
For the experience of a lifetime, make time to read with your children.
I'd like to show you an all-natural lawn care product, Thatchmaster. With spring application, Thatchmaster reduces excess thatch without power dethatching machines or old-fashioned raking. It uses a natural protein enzyme to gradually break down excess thatch so water and nutrients are more easily absorbed into the soil. Get your lawn ready for summer now with Thatchmaster. It makes a tough job easier, naturally.
Available at Sears, Kmart, Frank's, and participating True Value. Thatchmaster.
I'm Roseanne Coletti with a reminder. The Troubleshooter Hotline is open weekdays from 11 a.m. till 1. So if you've got trouble, call our volunteers from the National Council of Jewish Women at 212-582-0220. And don't miss my Troubleshooter reports weekdays at 5 on Channel 2 News.
Now appearing at one of New York's premier museums, a fascinating exhibition containing over 2,000 examples of the world's most interesting stuff. Excusez-moi. On loan from dozens of discerning individuals who have collected a dizzying array of stuff like marbles, miniature cars, dirt, baseball cards, Barbies, and of course, stuff like me. Great stuff. Now appearing at the Children's Museum of Manhattan. I'd see it myself, but plastic. Ba-dum-sha.
Roaches. They keep coming back because they may be immune to your insecticides. So we developed new Combat Superbait insecticide. Both our lab and home tests prove no roach is immune. Here's how it works. Roaches take the bait back to their nest and start a domino effect. It keeps on killing for 3 months. We guarantee it or your money back. New Combat Superbait in the gold box. We've made a science of killing your roaches.
Who's got the best buns in Hollywood?
Gotta say Bob Redford.
Stars show off their famous backsides on the next ET. Tonight at 7:30.
And updating now our top story this Wednesday, a courtroom erupted in high emotion this morning at a hearing for a man charged with kidnapping, raping, and murdering a 7-year-old Passaic girl. A relative of the young victim jumped over the courtroom barrier today as the suspect, Conrad Jeffrey, was being taken out. A published report today says the parole board that recently released Jeffrey did not have details about a 1974 rape that he confessed to committing.
Frank's back with some word on this heat wave.
It's a warm day.
Sure is, and it's not helping my allergies.
Yeah, but we are,
Oh,
I
all
know.
suffering.
Oh, well, I'm sorry about that, but we're
You
going to
are
cool
not,
things
no.
off tomorrow. I won't cool it off, but the weather will cool off tomorrow. It's 81, and we're in for another warm day. Chance again that some scattered showers or thunder showers will pop up once the air heats up, but most of the unsettled weather is right smack over the middle of the country. See that big swirling eye? That's where it's all happening. But up to the north and west of us, some cooler air is heading in, and that should begin to change our weather pattern right into the weekend. So much cooler air is over the Great Lakes, and that drier, cooler air will trigger off some more showers tonight into tomorrow, and then we start to cool off. So today, a very warm day, and as it happened yesterday, some of you folks did get to see some showers, and there were even a few scattered thunder showers around. Tonight, the showers will still be around, and again, they will be widely scattered, and then the cooler air should start moving through. And for the next couple of days, you will no longer see temperatures up near 90 degrees, but we'll be cooling off through Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And some showers then will develop later on Saturday.
For the weekend.
Well, we've had 3 good weekends. Maybe we'll luck out with another one.
3 out of 4 isn't bad. All right. Instead of suffering in the heat, you could stay inside this afternoon and watch a scorcher of a show. Geraldo Rivera has a preview of today's topic, bigamy brides.
We have two stories in our show today that may shock the wedding ring right off your fingers. There's nothing wrong with being married more than once, I know from personal experience. The trick is, though, that you have to divorce one spouse before you get hitched up again. That lesson was apparently lost on our first guest, a guy named Gordon, who's been married 17 times, and nearly all of those weddings took place while this convicted bigamist was still married to at least one other lady. Did you know it was not only illegal, but immoral?
Being immoral to me was if I was living with both of them, which I didn't do.
So if you were like a threesome, that would be immoral, but having two wives next door to each other, that's not immoral. I want to ask you if you know anything about Mark's background.
Yeah, I do.
Do you know that he is apparently a bigamist?
That's not true.
I have two ladies here who claim to be his wife.
There's 5 wives out there, Christine.
Christine's his current fiancée. We're trying to warn her. Aside from warning that unsuspecting woman what she was getting herself into, we also on today's program reunite our first bigamist, that fellow Gordon, with the adult son he's not seen since the boy was 7 years old. So don't miss Bigamy. Why did I say I do? Today at 4 on Channel 2.
Okay, that's Channel 2 News at noon on this Wednesday. I'm Carol Martin.
And I'm Lisa Rudolph. Enjoy your afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow.
World, SeaWorld, Universal Studios, Epcot Center. And this is Kissimmee St.